2.
On World News Tonight this Saturday, putting words into action, NATO and Yugoslav military leaders begin hammering out the details of peace. In Illinois, did police and prosecutors railroad an innocent man? The jury speaks.
But I miss you, miss you, miss you.
The Velvet Fog silence. Singer Mel Torme dead at 73. And for Charismatic, a chance to make history lost.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, Saturday.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Brown. There were more NATO airstrikes today in Yugoslavia, but tonight, peace may be one step closer. For the last 2.5 months, the town of Blace has been the main crossing point for refugees fleeing Kosovo into Macedonia. Today, it was the backdrop for what could become the beginning of the end of the conflict. So we begin there. And ABC's Sheila McVicker.
For 3 hours this morning, the Serbs kept NATO waiting. Technical difficulties, said NATO officers. It was a frantic round of phone calls that finally persuaded the Yugoslav officers to attend. So for the first time since the bombing began, Yugoslav officers sat down with their NATO counterparts in a restaurant near the Macedonian border. These were not negotiations, said NATO. The Serbs would be expected to sign an agreement that would implement the withdrawal of their forces.
It's not a place for haggling or equivocation. This is not the place to discuss the size or the positioning of the conference table. This is a place for decision and action.
The 6-page agreement specifies the 3 routes Yugoslav forces will use to withdraw from Kosovo. It lays out a 7-day timetable for that withdrawal. The Serbs must tell NATO where their forces have laid landmines, and bombing may continue until the withdrawal is verified. It took hours of discussions characterized by NATO officers as very professional as they went through the document literally line by line. Both sides clearly had questions. The American general monitoring the meeting for the U.S. was on the phone. The Serb delegation caucused back of the restaurant.
I merely came out to tell you that this could be prepared for a long afternoon.
What hinges on these talks is deployment of thousands of troops like these U.S. Marines waiting now off the coast of Greece. They will be the first U.S. troops into Kosovo. That could happen very soon. But the discussions today went on for more than 5 hours when suddenly the Yugoslav delegation emerged and drove off back across the border into Yugoslavia. They said they'd be back in an hour. That didn't happen.
What we now have is a full understanding on both sides as to the content of the military technical agreement.
Understanding may be, but so far not a signature. The Yugoslavs have told NATO they need more time to consult with Belgrade. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, Blace, Macedonia.
Who will command the peacekeeping troops remains one point of contention. Today, very strong words from the Russian envoy Viktor Chernomyrdin, who said Russia will never allow any troops it may send to Kosovo to be under NATO control. NATO is urging the Kosovo Liberation Army to abide by the terms of the peace plan. The KLA has been fighting for the independence of Kosovo and remains a wild card in the peace equation. Here's ABC's Richard Gisbert.
Like everybody else affected by this war, these KLA soldiers want to know what happens next. So they listen to shortwave radio for news and await new orders. It's already clear what NATO wants them to do.
We hope that the Kosovo Liberation Army will renounce violence and act in conformity with the conditions that were laid down in the peace plan.
The peace plan calls for the KLA to give up most of its weapons. But this KLA leader has already said the resistance will continue. When pressed to commit to KLA disarmament, he refused. The KLA, from its leadership right down to the trenches, doesn't trust the Serbs.
I know that Serbs always lies, and they don't tell anytime the truth. What they say is that the war is finished. They want that the war get finished, but we don't trust them.
One of NATO's main concerns is that the KLA will attack withdrawing Serb forces and provoke a Serb response. Only a year ago, the KLA was a ragtag force of 2,000 men. Today, it remains lightly armed, but has swollen to 17,000 soldiers. All along, they have fought for an independent Kosovo. the peace plan and the international community offer something less: autonomy.
After a while, if it does not appear that they are going to achieve their agenda, there's a distinct possibility that some parts of the KLA might even turn against the NATO force.
Because even though to many the Serbs appear to have lost this war, until Kosovo becomes independent, the KLA believes it has won nothing. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, London.
Peace agreement calls for the return of the nearly 1 million ethnic Albanians who were driven out of Kosovo. But as NATO works out the details of their return, there are signs that yet another refugee crisis could be on the horizon. From Belgrade tonight, ABC's Bob Woodruff.
If the Serb military leaves Kosovo and NATO troops move in, there is growing concern here in Belgrade that the approximately 100,000 Serb civilians still living in Kosovo will flee.
Most of them.
Most of them will leave?
Yeah, but probably from more than 60% of them.
Even at the Pentagon today, there were predictions of an exodus.
I don't think that Kosovo is going to be a very happy place for Serbs when NATO comes in.
What Serbs in Kosovo fear most is the Kosovo Liberation Army. They also fear ethnic Albanian refugees who may be intent on revenge for what the Serbs did to them. The hardline leader of Serbia's radical party, Vojislav Šešelj, warned today that without Serb soldiers remaining in Kosovo, no Serb will ever stay. Historian Predrag Markovic agrees.
Nobody will stay under pure Albanian administration.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Today in Serbia, there are more than 500,000 displaced Serbs from the wars in Bosnia and Croatia. Now UN officials warn that airstrikes have inflicted so much damage, Serbia may be unable to accept many more.
If we move into the winter with Serbia itself still suffering from the damage caused by the bombing, still not having heating and water, they may move out of Serbia into Bosnia or elsewhere.
Today, one of Serbia's leading politicians pleaded with the Serbs in Kosovo to stay where they are, promising that they will be safe and protected. Clearly, the last thing Serbia needs now is a new flood of refugees. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Belgrade.
Soldiers from the U.S. Army 1st Infantry Division are expected to be among the first American troops to enter Kosovo. Today on the shores of Normandy, members of that division honored soldiers from another era, reenacting the landing on Omaha Beach and marking the 55th anniversary of D-Day. 1,000 World War II veterans were there to attend the ceremonies. Still ahead on World News Tonight this Saturday, the jury's verdict on whether prosecutors and police framed this man. Stopping the cycle of drug crime, a plug from the stars, and Charismatic's difficult day with history.
This is World News Tonight, Saturday. Brought to you by Roundup.
You still there, Hank? Yeah, kid. They sprayed us good, huh? Yeah, good. Well, I never thought we'd get sprayed in the garden. But we'll be okay, huh? I mean, we've been sprayed before, huh, Hank? Sure, kid. But I gotta tell you, my roots hurt real bad. Hank, whoever did this is gonna pay. Hank, they're gonna pay big. Hank?
Roundup kills weeds where others can't. Roundup, no root, no weed, no problem.
What happens when vitamins and herbs get old? They get stale and lose potency. All GNC products are freshness dated, so you always get the potency you expect. GNC. Come in. Live well. Does your multivitamin know you're a man? Mega Men from GNC is made especially for men with ingredients like saw palmetto and ginseng that other brands don't have. It's your body. Take what belongs to you. GNC. Come in. Live well.
If you can do this, you can make wood beautiful with Minwax. And if you can do this, you can give wood lasting protection. Turning a house into a beautiful home is as easy as turning to Minwax.
Boogie woogie, rumbling round, creamy, dreamy, rumbling round. It's got yogurt, blended right in, with the creamy taste of butter. You'll try again.
The goodness of yogurt, the creamy taste of butter with half the fat and calories. Must be Rummelin' Brown.
In suburban Chicago, the police detectives and prosecutor known as the DuPage Five are free tonight, acquitted last night of charges they railroaded an innocent man onto Illinois' death row. Here's ABC's Jim Williams.
Hi, guys.
Following the verdict, there was relief among the veteran law enforcement officials.
It shows that we're doing our job, and we're doing it right.
The defendants, known as the DuPage Five, were accused of framing an innocent man. Rolando Cruz was convicted twice for the 1983 rape and murder of a 10-year-old girl. But in a third trial, Cruz was acquitted. He was eventually released from prison after spending nearly a decade on death row.
They're the ones that try to kill an innocent person. I killed nobody, nor did I ever try to kill anybody.
The 4 detectives and 1 prosecutor were charged with lying and fabricating evidence, including the most important piece of evidence used to convict Cruz, a dream detective said Cruz described, with details about the child's murder only the killer would know. In the trial of the DuPage Five, Cruz denied telling detectives about a dream, but in a startling admission, Cruz said he was now being treated by a psychiatrist to stop lying. That testimony, legal experts say, was the turning point in this trial.
Rolando Cruz's credibility was very important to the prosecution, and the defense very effectively destroyed his credibility in the course of the trial.
Throughout the trial, the parents of the murdered child stood by the defendants, convinced they had properly handled the prosecution of Cruz.
Tears of joy. This is a celebration tonight.
Nevertheless, still unsolved after 16 years, is the murder of a little girl. Jim Williams, ABC News, Chicago.
The war on drugs has produced few victories, but drug courts would appear to be among them. They started in South Florida as a way to get drug users into treatment while keeping the normal criminal courts free to deal harshly with drug dealers. Caught on around the country, and now the federal courts may be next. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
This afternoon, at a meeting of drug court professionals, actor Martin Sheen praised the courts for helping his son, who has publicly battled drug addiction.
I can't think of anything more important to give our country than recovery.
Charlie Sheen sent this recorded message.
I look forward to the day when there is a drug court in every community.
In just 10 years, the judges and prosecutors at this meeting have set up nearly 400 state-run drug courts nationwide. Judicial alternatives for drug-related offenders.
So you really want to do something about changing your life?
Yeah, I do.
Defendants are given a choice, clean up or go to jail. Tom Gorham was an addict of 35 years who finally got the help he needed.
Or I'd be a fool if I went back to jail and continued. I would be dead.
These courts are so successful, Congress will soon consider giving $15 million to set up federal drug courts in 10 cities. The nation's drug czar is behind the effort. He says it could help ease jail overcrowding and save millions in prison costs.
Locking people up for minimum mandatory sentences at $26,000 a year will never solve the problem. It's a failed social experiment.
The federal government's own accounting office says most people who get help in drug court end up successfully completing their programs. Most kick the habit for good, ending their need to commit crimes. So far, more than 140,000 Americans have passed through these special courtrooms, and an estimated 80% of them are still clean and sober. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, Miami Beach.
In Little Rock, Arkansas today, American Airlines crews began removing the wreckage of Flight 1420, which crashed Tuesday morning, killing 9 people. Investigators hope the wreckage will provide clues about the spoilers, those wing panels that slow the airplane down on landing. The co-pilot says he believes they'd been deployed. The flight recorder indicates otherwise. Coming up, troops pulling out, leaving a vacuum in a long troubled area of the Middle East.
She never wanted a storybook wedding. No fancy engraved invitations. No stuffy RSVP envelopes. All she needed was a postcard, a dime a minute 800 number, and a suitably romantic location. With Sprint Sense Anytime, now all your calls are a dime a minute. Calls from home, calling card calls, even calls to your Sprint 800 number. You too can live happily ever after. Call Sprint at 1-800-PIN-DROP now.
What should you do if you're having a heart attack? First, call an ambulance, then take Bayer aspirin. Now Bayer may help stop you from dying when taken during a heart attack. Talk to your doctor now. Bayer, powerful pain relief and so much more.
Shave it off. Just
Okay.
it's just this dandruff.
Well, we can take care of that.
Head and Shoulders?
Unlike regular shampoos, Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes before they start.
Glad I didn't do something stupid like shave my head.
Head & Shoulders.
Where will you be when the millennium turns? Your dreams change. So have we. Now Dean Witter and Morgan Stanley have joined to provide a world of investment advice on a personal level. The world will change, but at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we will always measure success, one investor at a time.
It's surprising who's drinking Ensure. Healthy people. Staying healthy means eating right. But when you can't eat nutritious foods like these, drink Ensure. With essential vitamins and minerals you find in vegetables, calcium like in milk, and protein like in fish. Ensure's a source of complete balanced nutrition. Helps you stay active and energetic. Drink Ensure. And drink to your health. And now there's Ensure High Calcium, with calcium and other key nutrients to help build strong bones.
Next week, President and Mrs. Bush on their life outside the White House and how their son's political future could bring it all back on Good Morning America.
For 17 years, Israel has occupied the southern part of Lebanon in an effort to protect northern Israel. But when an Israeli-supported militia pulled out of the Lebanese town of Jazin this week, it was a sign that Israel intends, as its new prime minister has promised, to leave Lebanon for good. But as ABC's Clay Scott reports, the road to withdrawal is a rocky one.
They poured into the streets of Jazin today to welcome their president. The emotion was spontaneous, joy at rejoining the rest of Lebanon, relief that their backyard will no longer be a battlefield, as well as fear. The few remaining residents of this once thriving Christian town know that to many Lebanese, they are considered collaborators with Israel. The soldiers of the South Lebanon Army, the Israeli-backed militia that ruled Jazin for 15 years, suddenly retreated on Thursday, finally driven out by the deadly attacks of Hezbollah guerrillas. The last devastating blow, this roadside bomb that killed an SLA commander. The Lebanese government sees the pullout from Jazin as a triumph, the first step toward the end of Israeli occupation. But the complete pullback they're hoping for could leave a dangerous security vacuum. If Israel does withdraw from southern Lebanon, as its new prime minister recently promised, it's the Lebanese army that will be expected to fill the void, keeping peace between the area's Muslims and Christians. And the U.S. wants to make sure they're up to the task. Since the end of the civil war here in 1991, the Pentagon has given the Lebanese army millions of dollars in military equipment, from uniforms and rifles to tanks and helicopters. Dozens of Lebanese officers have gone to the U.S. for training. Now, they say they are strong enough to keep the South from falling back into civil war.
We in the Army, we are ready to do our job and execute the mission.
Today, Israel's jets fired rockets at what it said were Hezbollah targets, showing no sign it's ready to withdraw anytime soon. Clay Scott, ABC News, South Lebanon.
In a moment, charismatic and the race for the Triple Crown.
One word convinced me, and herbal could help me maintain emotional balance. Centrum.
Centrum St. John's wort is different. Some brands can lack natural ingredients. Only Centrum uses Pharmaprint for a more complete herbal every time. Centrum herbals, each naturally more complete.
Natural, real. I want to look the way I feel. I'm a Grecian man.
Grecian
Want it quick, hassle-free. A look that really looks like me. Grecian man. A Grecian man, no time for gray. A new generation, a whole new day.
Grecian
Chevy Tahoe, like a rock. It's time
time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
At Belmont today, it was to be a race for the history books. Tonight, it is concern over the injury suffered by Charismatic, who entered the stretch of the Belmont Stakes with a little bit of a lead and a chance to be the first Triple Crown winner in 21 years. Leslie Visser of ABC Sports covered the race and joins us tonight from Belmont. Good evening, Leslie.
Good evening, Aaron. It was a day of mixed emotions out here at the 131st Belmont. Charismatic, in trying to become the 12th horse to win the Triple Crown, suffered a condylar fracture of his left front cannon bone. It is not life-threatening. That is the important information. He will undergo surgery tomorrow. Wayne Lucas, the trainer, just now said it probably was life-saving that Chris Antley, the jockey, pulled him up quickly and hopped off, but Chris Antley was quite emotional after the race.
He broke down just after the wire. You know, it's just a sad thing when these things happen. He gave us a lot. He gave America a lot.
He certainly will not be forgotten. And not to be forgotten in this race is the effort of Lemon Drop Kid, who did win the Belmont. Charismatics battled him through the stretch. Lemon Drop Kid, quite a long shot for trainer Scotty Schulhofer.
Charismatic is beaten. Here's the finish. It's going to be tight. Lemon Drop Kid, I believe, held on to win it by a head. Trained by Scotty Schulhofer, ridden by Jose.
For Scotty Schulhofer, that was another upset win in the Belmont. In 1993, he won with Longshot Colonial Affair. Well, Aaron, it's been, you know, quite a day here. More than 80,000 people, but kind of a tough one for the people here at Wayne Lucas's barn.
Leslie, thanks. ABC's Leslie Visser joining us this evening from Belmont. In Paris today, a victory for the old folks. 29-year-old Steffi Graf defeated 18-year-old Martina Hingis, the #1 player in the world, to win her 6th French Open and her first Grand Slam in 3 years. When we come back, memories of a music legend.
Spring is here. Thanks to Thompson's Wood Protector, everyone is getting ready to enjoy their deck, no matter what size it is. Rain, sun, mildew. It's the most powerful Thompson's yet. Thompson's Wood Protector. It never takes a day off.
Okay, the Hollywood Bowl. Okay, I go left on La Brea, right? No, left, right? Exit at Cahuenga, south on the 5, west on the 10, and when you see a massive sign, get off.
Before you go here, go here. Whether locating an address or planning your route, at go.com, you find your own way.
No, this isn't a jeans commercial. It's about constipation. You're bloated, not yourself. Your size 10s feel like 2s.
Fibercon has natural fiber action to relieve bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
Fibercon, be regular, be yourself.
Enough arthritis, pain, and inflammation.
Enough morning stiffness. Enough of these aching joints.
Had enough? Today, there are new treatment options to relieve your arthritis symptoms. Ask your doctor or pharmacist and call 1-800-ARTH-INFO for free information about new arthritis pain treatments. Because you've waited long enough.
Darling, yes, the house is 100,000 more than we talked about. The location just dreamy. I'll write up the contract so we're ready. Home sweet home, sugar.
Before you go here, go here. Whether you're researching neighborhoods or agents, at go.com, you move on your own terms.
Tonight, ABC brings Mortal Kombat home to you.
We're coming!
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mei Na Wen, Raul Julia in his final performance. Action never looked so Van Damme good.
Who wants to go with me?
Street Fighter, ABC tonight. Parental discretion advised.
Finally tonight from us, the death of Mel Torme, one of the great singers of our time, or perhaps another time, really. There aren't many of his era left anymore. Mel Torme died in California early today, complications from a stroke. He was 73. Here's ABC's Bob Brown.
Hold it. Yeah, hold it, guys. You got to count 4. Do you want me to count it for you?
He was impatient, he was demanding, but he was an artist who understood every nuance of a song and his and everyone else's role in it.
From Natchez to Mobile, Memphis to St. Joe, wherever the four winds blow.
The reason he earned such respect was that Torme was not only one of the great vocal interpreters, he was one of the few named singers who could also write his own band arrangements. It was as if the cliché musician's musician was invented to describe him. As a teenage prodigy from Chicago in the 1940s, he used his skill as a drummer to perform with the Chico Marx Band, then graduated to featured roles in Hollywood musicals. He settled down in Beverly Hills, where, sitting by a pool one day in the heat of July, he wrote one of the most recorded songs of all time, the Christmas song.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
He was only 21 then, but as he aged, he knew he would never fit the classic image of a crooner like his contemporary Frank Sinatra.
Look at this classic profile of mine. Sort of small chin, double chin. Not exactly Robert Redford. I am not a sex symbol type singer.
Days grow long.
And he seemed to come easily to terms with the fact that he wasn't a huge commercial success. If we're going to fail, he once said, let's do it in style. So he honed the musicianship that defined his career. And with typical Torme feistiness, he fought the record labels that insisted he pad his recordings with rock and roll when that style came into vogue.
I had to fight for every inch of wax that I wanted to record. And they said, don't be a wise punk. We'll tell you what to sing. I said, no, you won't. Not unless you're Duke Ellington. Then you can tell me what to sing. Benny Goodman, you can tell me what to sing. Artie Shaw, but you don't know as much about music as I do.
Not many people did.
Don't do the thing if it ain't got that swing.
Back in the early days of his career, a disc jockey trying to describe Torme's voice gave him the nickname the Velvet Fog. It stuck, but he never liked it. And in his 40s and 50s, as his voice matured and darkened, that old nickname became even less appropriate. This man, who estimated he knew more than 5,000 songs, always illuminated the music with his voice.
Nightingale sang.
He never obscured it.
In Berkeley.
He did transform it. Bob Brown, ABC News, New York.
Mel Torme, we welcome your thoughts and comments on what we do. You can email us at weekend@abcnews.com. That's a report for tonight. Tomorrow on This Week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts, the Kosovo Peace Plan. I'm Aaron Brown for all of us at ABC News. Good night.
Sunday, mixing baseball with religion. Are we using America's favorite pastime to discriminate? Watch ABC's World News Tonight, Sunday.
With $25,000 on the line, it all comes down to one moment. The big moment. All new episodes starting tonight on ABC.
It's the oven torch. Think of the tips.
Run, pizza boy!
There's a better way to deliver oven-fresh pizza. The Domino's HeatWave. It's like a portable oven for the best-tasting Domino's ever. Now at Domino's, get a large pizza with up to 5 toppings plus an order of cheesy bread for $12.99. That's a large pizza with up to 5 toppings and cheesy bread for just $12.99. Call Domino's now.
More outrageous than a flying dog. More ridiculous than...